Hey, how's everybody doing today? Welcome to Talking Shit. It's your boy, Sophisticated Jerk. Stan in the building in M3.
What
Man,
up?
shout out to y'all. How's everything going, man?
Going pretty good.
Yeah,
All right,
good
all
so
right.
far.
Yeah, I like them backgrounds M3, man. Yeah, you got to put some photos out there for us, man. But that's a fly background.
I definitely will, man. I just been kind of lazy for a minute, but
No, you
I'm gonna
good,
be
you good. But all right, man, we'll go ahead. We'll jump into the first topic. So yeah, the one today, man, this is probably one of the most delusional chicks I've seen. Ah, man, because she had like a bunch of surgeries and stuff. And I think she's making pretty good money, but she was like her expectation on men. This is probably like the highest I've seen. She got like Oprah, Rihanna expectations with the money. She's like, if you make 50 million, you broke type of stuff. So yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, she's like, hey, look, you gotta make about 100 million. You gotta get it. I'm up here. You gotta match me and type stuff. So yeah, she was a solid after the surgeries, a solid, like I say, 5 and 6. But yeah, her expectations is crazy. So
Okay.
let me go ahead and pull this up, man. Y'all let me know if I'm tripping. Does she deserve it? Is she in range what she's asking for? So let me go ahead and play this video though.
All right.
I probably might have made more than you in the last couple of years. So if you can't contribute equally to what I can do for myself or more, it's not worth my time or energy. However, your end game is to have sex, correct? Because you guys have touched on that on multiple
Yeah, we're not here to
occasions.
hear your jokes. Yes.
No, yeah, exactly. So it's he wants pussy that bad.
It's true.
I can
So
get
look, why
myself
complain
off
about
probably better
it?
than you ever.
Hold on, let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. I'm gonna ask y'all
Yeah.
about.
So
You hear that,
why in
McQueen?
the hell would I? Yeah.
You hear what she said?
She said, "I
So based on there, man, which y'all give her as a rating, 1 to 10?
What in the world of love and basketball wives is this? It's the men's fault. This is the men's fault. She used to NBA players. That's why she's saying all that mess. And she advertising. She ain't fooling nobody.
Yeah, she came in kind of hot, man. But what would you give her as a rating though? 1 to 10.
I'll give her.
Well, you over M3?
I'll give her a 7.
I give her 4 because that's all I got on me. $4.
I say about a 6. I say about 6.
Not all
Face
that
a little.
sass.
I got to get closer in the face to see, but like with the surgeries, it put her at a good 6. That's what I'm saying. This is after surgeries.
This is after surgery?
Oh, yeah, surgery?
Yeah. She gonna break it down in a second.
Oh no.
No. I mean, just that's where she at right now. But I'm just saying, like, this is where what we're rating her. Like, this is like after the enhancement. So yeah, no, she
after enhancement. Okay. Because I usually deduct like a couple of points, man, when I find out about that. So
I feel you. But nah, that's where she at. But yeah, she came out kind of just yapping and talking shit. So definitely you ain't getting no peace with this deal. Like you ain't getting calmness or none of that. You getting aggression and plastic. But all right, let me jump into this.
I want pussy that bad." She's not lying. She's not lying. I do
See,
like
so
pussy.
you can't complain. And you get prime pussy or you get easy pussy. And now there's levels to this in every game. It's
And
just
levels
like
to pussy.
business in general.
Just to be clear, what are you?
Prime.
You're prime.
Top notch.
What makes you prime, top notch, Poo-tang?
I mean, I have everything that you could possibly ask for as far as brains, beauty, ambition. I would build my man up to be everything he wants to be in this world. I'm the best investment he would ever make in his life. And my shit's exclusive. I've invested in my body. I have a $150,000 body. No one barely touches me. Yes, you can see me on Instagram because I'm paid to do that, but nobody touches me unless a man, yes, does take care of me. I like bosses. I like millionaires. I like someone who's going to mentor me, teach me, and invest in me and get me to my highest level as well.
And just to be clear, what's a $150,000 body?
4 BBLs, 2 breast technically 5 BBLs, but we're going to go with 4. 2 breast augmentations, obviously Botox, lip injections, and then I had the fat buckle removed out of my cheeks on my face.
Wow.
And how young are you?
28.
28. And what age do you want to get married?
Go ahead,
Okay.
M3.
Okay, so I gave her the 7, right? But I thought she was like, I ain't gonna lie, I thought she was 40. You know what I mean? So I was like, okay, not bad for a 40. I'll give you a 7. But you 23, no, I'm
28.
sorry. I gotta deduct the points down. For me, if I find out about that and then you having like all these surgeries, BBLs, alone, she haven't stood up yet. So I don't even see how it actually looks. I'm giving her like a 4 because I'm really, really picky like when it comes to that, and I like my people to be more natural. Now, as far as like what are we in the space where we talk about the delusion part, or do you want me to wait for a minute?
No, you could jump in. Go ahead.
Okay. So the part where what makes things delusional, and I get that she's been hanging around with a lot of like NBA simps or whatever, so that's why she's very highly like entitled. But the problem is that okay, it's the list of things that you're trying to qualify yourself for. So when a woman says like, "Oh, I want a man that makes $100 million," because he has to be this, and that, they have a large list and criteria for how they want us to treat them. But their list for how they treat us or what they could bring is very small. So here's the thing, right? This is where it sounds contradicting. She says she could bring a man up, correct? If you could bring a man up, if you really have that type of potential, then pretty much you could find any man that's not even within that financial bracket and bring him up to be 100 millionaire. You know what I mean? A 10-time millionaire. But you're looking for someone who's already pre-packaged, so you really don't have the utility to bring a man up because he's a finished product. If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
She says she has the beauties and brains, but the beauty part, you had to spend $150,000 to pretty much look the way that you're looking now, which indicates that you wasn't really well. She probably would have been better looking before the whole Botox and stuff. But what you're signaling is that you are not enough. And the last thing, I don't even need to ask about how you manage your money. The fact that you spend $150 for your BBLs, Botox, cheek remove, whatever that she had removed around cheek. Huh?
Fat removal.
Fat removal from the front cheek. That means that you do not understand the concept of money, and you do not have the ability to allow money to grow. Any chance that you have $1 million, you are going to blow it. You're bad at your money management skills. And again, now on the flip side, maybe what she done was an investment, because you do have low class simps out there that will pretty much like reimburse, but you're going to reinvest your money somehow, right, through simps. Again, that's not a woman that I would take anyway. Might as well get a broke chick. She got all the brains and all that stuff, you know.
Go ahead, Stan.
She dropped from a 4 to a 2. I'm being nice. I'm being nice. The fact that you're going to have 5 BBLs are illegal for a reason, and you have 5 of them, and I bet you it's for maintenance. That's how bad BBLs are. And then breast augmentation. So everything about you is fake. Whoever have kids with you, if you can even have children, you're not going to look like your kids. They're not going to look like you. So what I see is like, it's not even like I'll say her attitude. It's like she's angry. Like she's done all this stuff to herself and she's still not snatched up. And she's on this show to advertise, because I'm looking, I'm like, yo, you advertising. I'm from Miami. I seen it. Like, you advertising up in these streets. And so whoever gets her, I'm like, yo, this is what you want. You're going to have to pay for it, and I don't want to hear it. And we don't want to hear no Toxic Tuesdays on Manifestation show. We don't want to hear nothing. You meet her and she take you to the cleaners, be quiet. We ain't want to hear it. There'll be no sympathy here.
Yeah, man, I did rate her at like, because I watched like a little bit of it, you know, just to see if it was worthy. So I heard her talking mess. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll put it in there. But I didn't know the age part because I'm like M3. I thought she was like in the late 30s. And so it's like, man, you're doing all this to yourself now, man.
At
You could be
27.
deteriorating fast, man. So by the time you start hitting 30s, because I don't care about it, some enhancements, because it's like, man, females' bodies do change. So it's like, man, a little bit. But when you talk about like 5 BBLs, all that other stuff, it's like, golly, man, you're gonna be like fucked up by the time you start hitting all those upper ages. And it's like you were saying, Stan, the maintenance you got to keep to do all this stuff. So yeah, she definitely sounds bitter, man. Like, since I'm not getting what I want, that's what she's projecting now. She was sounding like a straight up dude, man. Honestly, like as far as like, oh, I could do this and I could do this. You know how like we'll talk when we get in the crowd and we start talking shit with each other. That's what she sounded like. Another dude that be at the barber shop where we start like talking some shit about sports or something. So
Yeah.
yeah, they're definitely in a feminine bone in her body and shit. So yeah, she making a lot of demands for, you know, really like acting like that, especially for the caliber of dude she wants. Like they'll definitely dust it off, but they ain't no way in hell they sticking around for that, you know.
Yeah, because if she could, like, the whole thing of, like, I raise a man up to do the, like, you don't upgrade any man. If you're coming on any show demanding anything what somebody makes, you're not rich. You're actually poor. You got exposed to rich and wealth, and you got kicked out, and you want to get back in. So you didn't maintain, didn't hold it down. Rich people just act like you did, like, oh, thank you, baby. If it wasn't for you, you done. Nah, that's not what you did. He's just saying thank you, so you get some coochie points. You didn't hold it down. It's okay. He used you, kick you to the curb. Now you need to get on to the next one. So don't go around sitting around like, you help a man get more money. That's not what you do. And you advertising on IG and you saying you're exclusive? Like we dumb?
Yeah.
What's
No, the
up,
funny
Wally?
part is like I like what M3 was saying as far as her like talk about she could upgrade a guy pretty much, but then on the same breath she'll undercut her message like he's got to be equal or better. And which, man, I understand if you're in a certain range of money, man, you know, you kind of want somebody to be level headed and have their shit together. But to put like a specific dollar amount on it, that's where it just gets funny because it's just like, you know, she could get a doctor or somebody that has their shit together. But it's like, man, she talk about like that outrageous like price tag. It's like, man, who the hell you going? And the funniest thing with a lot of females like this, it's like that man at that caliber has to want you back. You know, that's the issue. I don't think that sets in a mind since they so delusional. It's like, man, somebody has to be attracted to you back and want you
But
or be able to tolerate your behavior. You know what I'm saying?
like at 150K of enhancement, what man is gonna love you that much? Like you can't, like that's a lot to put on us as men. You good to look at. It's kind of like a Ferrari. I'm gonna rent it out. I want to look at it. I'll see it at the show, but do I really want to keep it? No.
Well, the issue is, especially if she down there in like Miami and them areas, it's like, man, there's a lot of chicks that got enhancements that's nice. Like, so if a
Or who
dude got,
don't have enhancements,
huh?
or who don't have
Well,
enhancements.
just even I'm just saying, because like, man, a lot of guys don't typically care about like breasts if they don't go too far above. But I'm just saying, like, there's a
No,
lot of
no.
chicks, huh? There's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah, I
of
agree.
chicks down there that got like that probably are in that like a fit, got they stuff together and got good personalities. So it's like if a dude's making 50 million, like he's not tripping like I gotta have this boss chick that's bitter as shit and got a terrible personality. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, nah, it's just funny how delusional they are. Hey Wally, I'm
About
gonna play a little bit more and I'm gonna come around to you.
I don't necessarily have a time restraint on myself. I feel like God's gonna, make me cross paths with my future husband when that time is right.
So you
I
comfortable?
probably have about another 10 million in real estate that I need to develop before that, so that I can reach the caliber of man that I want to be my future husband.
Got it. And how convinced are you that a man is attracted to a girl with ambition, brains, $10 million in real estate, or just being nice and sweet? What do you think a man is most interested in, especially the man that you're looking for who's worth millions of dollars? Does he want an ambitious boss babe or a nice, compliant, beautiful girl that doesn't give him headaches? What do you think most men like that would prefer?
I'm not looking for what most men or most
Well, you
women
should
are
be because you
looking
want
like.
that kind of guy. So you should
What do
be.
you mean? No, I'm looking
So
for
I'm
like
asking-
that 1 in a million where you're looking at like Grant and Elaine Cardone. You're looking at
Okay.
like, you know, power couples, Jay-Z, Beyonce. Those people are building an empire together and they're equally contributing.
So I respect on that, but let's play in reality right now. You're not going to marry Jay-Z or Grant Cardone for the sake of this conversation. You're going to marry some
No, my
successful
own.
guy.
I'm gonna have my
exactly,
own.
exactly. So that guy, how much is he worth?
Close
Make
to
up a number.
100 million.
Okay, so that guy that's worth $100 million.
Yes.
Go with me here now,
Yes.
Kay. Does he want a boss babe who's trying to sell real estate, or a
Trying?
nice, lovely, compliant girl who's willing to get on his schedule? What do you think that guy wants? Think about it.
Well, I only date men that are at that high
No.
caliber.
I'm asking
So,
what you think. I don't care what you think. I want to know
I think they want me.
what he
They're
thinks.
constantly pursuing me. What do you mean?
Why aren't you married to one yet, though?
Because I don't want to be married to one yet.
I thought you just
I've been
said you.
building my own business.
But I thought
I've
you.
been proposed to twice and turned it down. It wasn't the
You
right
turned
one.
down a guy worth $100 million twice?
50 million, but yes.
Why in the world would you turn him down?
Because I still had things to do.
So you think that you're just going to go find another guy worth $50 million is ready to wipe you up?
I like I said, 100 million. I like to
Okay,
double
so
down.
the $50 million guy was just too poor for you.
No, he just wasn't the right one.
You do realize there might be people in the comments calling you absolutely delusional right now.
That's
Do you
fine.
realize that?
I don't care what they have to say.
Okay. So
You know what they're doing to her? She's a toy. She's one of those like, oh, you talking all that? I gotta bust you down one time and put a notch on my bed because she's a challenge. No man want to keep her. They want to like toy with her, dick her down, and then leave.
All right, Wally. Let me go to Wally real quick. Wally, what's your take on what you heard so far?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
good? What's good?
Yeah, I like to start this off by saying, see, ladies, this is why when I looked at this previous video on, I don't know if it's IG or it's on TikTok, one or the other. You know, I don't know if you guys seen it too. It's about this guy. He was pretty much putting up a very telling, very piece of information. He was like, you know what? Guys should start going out with their guy, like start having houses with their guy friends, and then they just have houses together, and then they just fuck anything and just go with them because they have it better. Because you think about it, right? You'll just come in the house, y'all do whatever you freak y'all want, y'all good, y'all ain't gonna give each other no problems, y'all just gonna do what y'all do, right? This is the type of shit that I just laugh at, and I said to myself, when I looked at that video, every single time when I look back at this, I'd be like, yeah, I won't be surprised if a lot of dudes just start being like, you know what, we're gonna get a place together. They're just gonna have their house, and then guess what? At the end of the damn day, they just bring in bitches at left and right, and then it just be like, you know what? It's a good damn day in life because you know what? I know when I go back home, I never have to hear stress no more. I got to hear no complaints. I got to hear nothing. I got nothing because at the end of the day, I know good and well I'm gonna come back to a guy that's not gonna be as bitchy just like myself. Because at the end of the day, I know I'm gonna just come back and be like, hey, we splitting these bills and we just living the life and we just doing what we do best. It makes no sense. Oh, I found me a $50 million guy, but yet I didn't took him up because I had my own things to handle. But then now you're gonna sit and tell me, oh well, I'm gonna go get $100 million guy when I see him. What? You were lucky enough to find the $50 million guy. You were lucky enough to talk to a $50 million guy.
Hey,
Lord
Wally.
have mercy.
Wally, quick question for you.
¿Qué pasó?
How old do you think she is?
50.
Okay. Okay, you're not there. You're not even close. Go a little bit lower.
Really? Okay. Now, I'm sort of guessing because makeup it could be deceiving.
Yeah, that's fine. Guess again.
Around her 40s?
Okay, one more time. A little bit lower.
Oh, really? She 30? She's not 30?
Wally, she's 27.
What? that one in the red jacket. That hold up. No.
I think she said she was 23, right?
No, 27, 28, something around there.
That is a 27.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, bro. Okay, okay. One, let me say this first. I'm sorry. And three, let's be honest. I could have probably said 30, but you're trying to tell me that's a 27-year-old?
27.
I'm older than her. There's no way.
Yeah.
Well, how old are you, Walt?
I'm 30, bro. That's what I'm saying. There's no way. She looks like she's much older than me.
Yeah, she definitely look older. I was thinking the same thing when she said that. I'm like, damn, 150 at like 20, 27? God.
She had 5 BBLs, Wally.
She had her breast done. She had her lips done. She had cheeks
Well, I
done.
heard about the BBLs. I just didn't know who had them. But
She had
even
5.
then, that's why I'm saying, like, see, so that means if she had BBLs, that made you worse. That didn't make you younger. Because look what I said. I literally said I thought she was 50 because she looked like the way how she looked in her face and her body. I'm just thinking to herself, like, okay, you have to be at least 50. You know, you keep yourself nice and right, but you look like you're on the older tip.
Yeah.
But no, you're telling me she's actually younger than me.
Yeah. See,
Yeah.
M3 and SJ, this is what she looked. She looked like the women that go to the clinics in Florida. Am I right, Wally? That go to them health spa clinics?
Apparently.
You gotta let them know. You gotta let them know, sir.
Apparently, because you know what? Again, I swear to you, even when y'all were mentioning the whole thing, I did not know which woman had the thing, but that's all I'm gonna say.
Now I'm not even for sure if her hair is even real.
That's all I'm saying. Ain't no way she's 20 something. There ain't no way. There ain't no way you younger than me. You look like that. They just know.
But just
Boy,
man,
that estrogen strong, boy. That estrogen strong. Oh Lord.
but like the crazy part about what she was just saying though, man, was the fact that I mean, first of all, she's capping because it's like if you had that 50 million guy, he dropped you. That's really what it is. So a lot of times when they start being at the like, oh, I left them, I was pursuing other things. It's like, man, you a goddamn lie. That 50 million, that dude had chefs, the decked out place. Like you already done gave him some, so it's not like you just left out the blue. So like, come on, stop lying. That dude was like, get up out of here. He ghosted her. I don't understand why people just can't tell the truth, man. Whereas like you just got that much pride where you making it sound like, you know, that's what they was like kind of catching on. Like, you think they just hang out at Walmart or something? Like you just go to like the Owl and there's 50 million nares just hanging out. Like you missed your opportunity if that's the case.
They're not Hooters no more. Hooters gone bankrupt, so I don't know where you people gonna find their millionaires.
Yeah, they.
Hey, we still got Hooters in Florida. Don't forget. But look, but the thing is, what makes it worse is it's like, okay, you got you say you're talking to a 50 million dude. You're trying to tell me that even if you're trying to tell me, okay, you had a chance, you had a moment of talking to a 50 million dude.
Yes.
And in the chance of this, the reason why you didn't lock in was because you had your own things to do. Like you didn't have your own things to do, even if you was in the relationship. What are you talking about? Like he wasn't having his own thing to do when in the relationship. What are you talking about?
Translation: he wouldn't spend money on me.
Apparently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think it's that. I think it must down.
I'm gonna say allegedly that he didn't spend money on.
But let's be honest, there has to be more to it because it's like if you're someone that's 50 million and she's someone that's 27 or whatever, she's business minded.
$10 million in property.
She has 10 million in property.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, she has 10 million in property. Okay, nice. And he has 50 million, whatever he did. Okay, cool. So where's the problem here? I'm still missing the conclusion to this. How this was a no, and what makes you think that okay, you had 10 million, he had 50, and you were just magically to go above and beyond him that's already ahead of you, that you're gonna get a 100 million guy?
Please make he dissed her. He ghosted her. That's what it was.
But see, that's my problem though. It's like y'all want to be so. That's why I say the ego of people is just sad. Because you make this shit so unreal, and it's like, okay, you want to make everyone believe you, and then they believe the same thing you believe, and then they're gonna be like, yeah, I could overachieve too. No, you fucking can't. You had one opportunity, and you're trying to tell me you magically end up meeting a dude that's 50 million.
Well, she did like the part. She was like, well, they like me. They on me. And then I like how what's his name, the one guy, McQueen, whatever, was like, well, why don't you lock it in? That's when her philosophy started going to shit. That's when she started, well, I got stuff to do. It's like, well, shit.
Again, like you wasn't have stuff to do within the relationship. What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Big rollers always do.
This is America.
Delusion at its finest. But let me get back to the video. Oh, you was about to say something, M3?
No, I just said the land of the cat. You can play it.
So I'm asking you
I
to
know
put
my
yourself, take off the I'm a hot girl, paid 150 grand, boss babe,
Okay.
priceless punani. Take that off.
Okay.
Give her your hat for a second. Would you?
No,
Are you
I
able to
I
do
don't
that?
have a
Shout out to Adam. He throwing them slick shots in there.
He ain't gonna
haircut
show,
right
Okay.
Huh?
he ain't gonna show his bald head.
Put on the 100 million guy's hat. Are you ready to play this game?
Okay.
Don't answer like you're Kay. Answer like you're. Give me a guy's name that you'd be willing to marry. A guy's name.
I'm sorry.
Think of a
what?
name. Think of a name. $100 million guy.
I don't know.
Let's call him Jay-Z. Let's call him Jay, because we're not
Okay.
talking of Jay-Z. Jay is worth $100 million.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Do you think about it, he cares how much money you make?
No.
You don't. Okay. Let's stop there. Do you think he cares about your attitude?
To an extent, yeah.
To an extent.
Yeah.
He cares a lot about
He
you.
cares a lot about your attitude.
But I have a great attitude.
Now,
No, you
okay.
You're not worth $100 million, so your opinion doesn't matter.
Okay, so listen to me. You just said you
So
turned
only
down
a person that's worth $100 million opinion matters.
As far as me like being in an intimate relationship,
Okay.
yeah.
Let's put the hat back on.
Okay.
Jay. So what is Jay looking for? Again, remove yourself and your real estate ambitions from the
If
equation.
that Jay-
what is Jay looking for?
If this particular Jay wants a simple Sarah, there's no Sarahs here, right?
Yeah,
Sarah.
that's right there.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I
You
love
just
you.
pissed off the wrong girl.
Simple Sam, whatever. Okay, then you can find a million of those. You can go to the club. You can go find a girl in college, or it's something so simple like that. You can find every 100 girls is the same person like that. Simple. I'm one in a million as well, and $100 million man usually likes the extraordinary. I'm attracting the
Can
extraordinary.
I ask you something? Can I
Go
ask?
ahead, McQueen.
What do you think that a man in general, like you said, $100 million is a guy that is worth talking
McQueen, I don't even know why you're talking to her right now.
I know,
Bro. You're
I
not even
know.
worth $100 million.
It's okay.
McQueen, you know what? Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the panel, McQueen. Bye.
But listen. So what is it? What do you think that a man? You're saying what's worth $100 million? Because clearly that's the only man that's worthy of talking. So what do you think that? Like, what are the top 3 things that you think that man values?
I think he values business.
From who?
And no, in general, his life.
Okay.
And he needs someone who understands that.
From you? Okay.
And a girl who is just simple and will comply, she's there for the money. A woman who has it on her own isn't there just for the money, because
Okay.
I
So
have my own.
what's the last 2 things besides the first one you just?
I would say family. They're looking for someone that they can procreate with, someone to take on their legacy.
Do you think that someone they
And
want
they
to
wanna
procreate
have-
with cares more about money than actually being a submissive, compliant woman?
I'm sorry, what was the
I'm
question?
saying, do you think that they want to procreate with someone who thinks like you as opposed to a compliant, submissive woman?
I would assume so, yes.
That's a fucking retarded ass outlook.
Okay, well, you shouldn't use the word retarded because there are people with
I
disabilities.
mean,
in the world.
you shouldn't say that, someone who's not worth $100 million.
I'm sorry,
shouldn't be-
but delusion is starting becoming like a disability.
It is.
Yeah, I know. I said it. Yeah, I said that very bluntly. Because the thing is, this again, like you keep saying, okay, you had your own money, but it's like, okay, so what was the problem with the 50 million dude?
She never had that 50 million dude. That really
But see, you over here bigging and boasting, talking shit.
All right.
The issue, man, is like when they sleep with a guy, they think like that's a relationship, but that dude obviously like kicked rocks afterwards. So she's still putting that
Free.
limitation on all the rest of the guys. Like, well, just because I slept with that guy, like all the rest of y'all gotta be like that. But it's like, man, that dude ain't like you. He ain't stick around, so you really didn't have it. You just slept with him, and that's where she, probably in her mind she ain't letting go of that interaction.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's the issue. And then so what they're trying to get her to realize, because like she just don't want to listen to men. She's like, well, y'all don't make them if y'all don't think like the guy there. It's like, man, pretty much most guys think the same as far as like they don't want to be dealing with no headache. but
Well,
she's
look,
like, oh, go
I
ahead.
want to say this. I know Wally don't want to go ahead and be honest about Florida, and them three not going to be honest about California.
Hey, look here. Look here.
I'm
I
going
never said I'm being honest.
y'all be no.
At the end of the day, Florida is what Florida will always shall be.
But let's be honest here. Florida and California, we've seen it, or I've seen it. So they're not going to agree with me on it.
I never said
That type
no.
of woman, that type of woman that you see, she's a fun girl. The quiet, very thin ones who are naturally beauty and young. A lot of times people go to college not to sit down for education. They go to college to get a rich husband. SJ talked about proximity. That's what really works. And it works in college. In Florida and California, a lot of young ladies, they're going out there, they're being very quiet, very meek, very very slender, and they're getting married to rich guys. They're not coming in like her, and some of them are rich, but they're not coming out there like that because with rich people marrying into rich people, that's something a little bit different. You're not going to come in as aggressive. She, again, the wealth she's probably getting into is NBA wealth. And then,
okay,
because like for you to have that much level of work on you, normally that's somebody in their 40s and their 50s in California or in Florida. Young men are not trying to pick a girl who has a lot of work on them in their 20s. It's your 20s. It's like, okay, if you get a nose job, that's fine. But look, nobody's really trying to pick somebody who's like the bionic woman. You're getting all this work done and you can't lift a car. Nobody's trying to do that in their 20s in freaking Florida and California.
I think she could pull somebody if she just wasn't so.
Oh, she probably did pull somebody. Say it. Black men, we just dumb as suckers.
I guarantee you, she passed through some black dudes, and then she was like,
full well she getting the black guys. Black man in Florida, please. In California, NBA, that's like I say NBA. We're a joke.
Let me ask you this question though. Now, do you think behind the scenes, do you think that she's getting guys that not even meeting her criteria?
Absolutely.
Big time.
Of course.
There's a rapper in there somewhere.
Because
she got some regular guys that are just businessmen that probably do well, but man, there ain't enough 50 million. Man, I don't give a damn what city you in. Even if you in like financial district in New York, Wall Street area, like
New York. Look, I'm gonna say this to everybody because SJ will agree with me. New York got some freaking models in New York. New York got models, and them women don't even want to be models. New York got beautiful women.
Well, I'm just talking about even the ratio of like rich people, where it's just like
she's in competition with those women.
Oh, I know that. I'm just painting a picture as far as like there ain't that many like millionaires like that. What are they like 0.0001 across the the whole United States?
Families though. That's also New York. You guys good with the rich families. You got the supermodels in New York. You guys got like your own wealth. That Northeast wealth is something else. Like it's.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little more consolidated, but I mean, even then, it's just like, man, to come across somebody that got like 50 M's, like that's rare within itself. So it's just like, man, those people are such a minor population. Like, even if they came around her, it's like, man, they ain't gonna want to be around you. You might have stumbled across the one that smashed you, but like, I think I agree with Stan. This is like, man, I think she party girl, the ones, be hanging around the VIP section. So like, dude got drunk, took her back, did his thing, and ghosted her, man. I mean, that's just the reality. Because I mean, if she's saying she's doing all the business and stuff, then she should be coming across people, but they kind of sense that personality and they staying away from it for some reason.
Right. Yeah. So look, I did a little digging, right? So this is from like 2024, right? So they cited this amongst Fort Lauderdale, Miami, about over 1,000 individuals. Pretty much mainly I tried to put this on men, but they said, over individuals. Net worth surpassed 50 million. So over 1,000. That's at 2014. They said on 2022 report, Florida's amongst the states with the above average share of wealth exceeding 30 million per household. And then they just give it all rare around like there's a several thousand individuals that work over 50 million. So my thing is the chances of you being around those several thousands is still like rare if you don't live in those areas or neither just overall Florida. Like,
And also, my understanding, like, a BBL is looked down upon. Like, we gotta have like a rich course to go over some rich videos because rich people don't do BBLs. That's like a divorce house, like that. Like, if you're trying to get married into the millionaire club, the billionaire club,
hey, Stan, look here, bro.
But you
Go ask,
Sure.
you know the guy that owns Amazon. Yeah. Go look at his chick. Okay, yeah.
But she's in her 40s and 50s. That's fine.
Okay,
right?
well, I'm just saying you want to put
But
that
that's
on
what I'm
there.
saying. Like, well, if you're young, right, it's not something that you go ahead and you don't compete because you also your personal value. You're not trying to compete with a girl like her because families looking at genes. They want they want kids. They ain't trying to have no discussion and all this other stuff that people think is going on. Like, they want legacies passed on. These are like stuff that people don't want to talk about. They think like when you married to a rich person, you're going to Temu them to death with like the stuff you see on Temu and Amazon. That doesn't work. You don't have access to their money like that. That's like generational wealth. Like, they ain't gonna let you come in and spend their money on Temu and Amazon. Like,
But
I don't know what
let me
people
ask
think when
this
they
real
think
quick,
about
right?
getting somebody rich. That's work.
Real quick. I was gonna respond real quick because like, I mean, yeah, that would be nice to like actually have a stream where you talk about what the rich people would want, but it would be more efficient if we actually knew someone who is around that percentile of wealth to actually come on.
But we seen them every day. Just look at all the rich people.
No, I'm talking about actually bringing.
Well, I know, I get all that, but I'm saying you can just look at some of them and just be like, well, let's just look at it for what it is. You look at some few rich people out here, they're not chasing like that chick that you just saw earlier. I'm just being honest. They're just not. The flash.
Thank you for being honest about Florida Wally.
They're just not chasing that thing. Like, come on, bro. Like I don't know if you guys ever even bothered because I know I came in a little bit late, but I'm looking at some of these other chicks. I'm like, she's not even the first one I honestly would keep my eye on, really. Like, I'm seeing some of these other ones. I'm like, hello.
No, I agree with you. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's for all the enhancements. Like, man, she's not that bad like that for her personality. That's what I'm saying. Like,
at 27, that's a make 27.
Yeah.
I wish I could see like a before the surgery surgery. So then that way I could definitely judge her in my own eyes, and most likely I feel like I would have been like, yeah, she looked it better. Probably would have looked it better without the surgery. But that's just me.
But I mean, I do know some people that's like in their range, man. And I mean, they're like with, I'll say pretty women, but also they're nice, man. That, you know what I'm saying? Like, the personality's there. Like with her, man, it's just
bigger than boasting, shaking them.
Yeah, so like she's just terrible.
She's talking real big. Like, you act like you never been from the trap before. Like, get the frick out.
And the way she, like, even when he was like commenting, "Oh, you're not in that range," kind of shutting him down. Because I know he's doing pretty good. Oh, hold on.
Yeah,
I know he's doing pretty good. So yeah, it's just like to be that delusional. Like, even if you was making money, like, that's why I forgot who said it earlier, but it's just like, are you really in that range? Because like, if there's guys that's doing well for themselves, they might have like 5 million. Like, you shutting them out because they ain't at this like delusional rate. That within itself is dumb, that you don't understand like money if you claim you have it like that. So yeah, that's another.
But I even say this Stephen Athens, right? Because let's say hypothetically, right? Because we don't know where she grew up from. She probably grew up where her daddy got money. Maybe. If that's the case, fine. But even to that extent, if you're trying to tell me you grew up at a time where your daddy had money, you was pretty much in a nice living, wealthy neighborhood and all this other stuff. So you're trying to tell me if your daddy found out that you had a 50 million man, he wouldn't look at you sideways and be like, well, why you didn't date him?
Now, I think a lot of times parents know their kids' personalities too. They be
Yeah,
like,
but
man,
that's why I'm be like, bro. But even then, it's still a funny joke, dog. It's like you could have told me, you yeah, it just make no sense to me. Y'all want to talk about the man got a motherfucking hustle, they got to big up. Then you got a man that actually bigged up. Next thing you know, it's like, oh no, I need to chase something higher.
yeah. So, that's why she's out there though. That's why I was like, man, I ain't never seen no level of delusion. But let me finish out the rest of the video. We get back to it.
Worthy of talking, but hey, you did. So it is what it is. But hey, like I said, you have your opinions, and I'm just putting this out there that it's like that's not what men value. They don't want like a aggressive, dominant woman that cares more about money and real estate and millions of dollars as opposed to being a respectful, loyal, compliant woman. They just don't.
Okay.
I'm trying to help you out because you just turned down a nigga that's worth $50 million, acting like they just down the street, like you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, that was funny. I like how he handled that whole situation.
Yeah,
because she is, boy. Yeah, her parents need to pull her to the side and be like, "Look, man, don't ever embarrass us again like that."
It's too late. They ain't gonna do nothing. They're gonna be like,
I know them other girls trying to figure out who that guy is. Like, girl, who is he? Because they younger than her, they'll probably be like, yeah, they probably learn from her mistake and be like, yeah, let me get in there.
Oh, yeah, you talking about the 50 million?
Yeah, the other girls on the panel, they're like, who's this guy?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if she was being serious, it would have made more sense if she was being more detail about who the guy is, like how she like.
Well, she probably ain't trying to throw him under the bus,
but that's what I'm saying. You're not like she's not really being serious about the whole situation. Like, okay, I met him, we had some time or a coffee, whatever it was, but I'm just saying you're not breaking down the scenario of why he didn't went down. It was just like, oh, he was at 50 million, so I'm like, I'm going for something higher.
But really? She don't want no other woman that will go in and meet the same guy and then she'll benefit because now his 50 million is 200 million, right? Because then you really gonna look crazy losing the bag, and especially to your competition.
Oh, but that's her fault. She the one that left him, supposedly.
But she doesn't want that to happen. Oh, but before I forget,
and that's the problem. This is why we try to tell y'all, ladies out here. Y'all worst enemy. But let's be honest. Some of us as men, we are worst enemy too. Keyword, some of us.
Yeah. But M3, I'll send you guys some stuff for like the millionaires. They talk about it. They talk about the stuff that they don't like. Everybody assume that they like, but they don't do things like that. And they talk about it a lot. But in Florida, and I'm sorry I threw you underneath the bus, Wally, but like we had access to them because they was always there. You knew, and you seen the girls that they had, and they were not voluptuous at all. They were very thin.
And here's another point, because I know a particular guy that has a channel, because I follow the business scenes. I see a guy. This guy was literally he was literally on drugs, cleaned up his life, got better. He making big money in Florida right now. Didn't waste no time. Don't got no crazy voluptuous chick. Some chick he knew straight up out the neighborhood. He probably knew like a long time ago. Like, bro, this is what I'm saying. This whole flash in the can type stuff is lies. They're not chasing that. Why? Because guess what? Flash in the can are what? Mouthy as hell. You don't do good with that. Mouthy chicks get you in trouble. Quiet chicks keep your business tight. That's the thing.
That's true. And then working in nonprofit in California, when you go out with the donors, right, and you see their small house or their small Napa Valley, whatever, right, and I'm just like, but I see the girlfriends, the wives, they're not that. They're not picking voluptuous women. They're picking very petite, very quiet, very people that know how to move the room and not cast an attitude or looks.
But I think that could look confusing, man. I don't think people are intentionally picking people like that. I think like when we were talking about the proximity, it's like, man, you're day to day, man. You're just going across people. You might work with somebody. Yeah, I have like some conversations, man. They got a good personality, and then that's how it typically happens. But
Yeah.
if a female was like nice looking and had a personality, a dude would be on board for that, you know.
Well, of course,
So
yeah,
None of that
if they
being
fit that visual.
But none of that being pushed. Everything that's being pushed, right? Be a boss chick, give some veneers.
oh no, I agree with you. Nah, but that's why we
Okay.
breaking it. A lot of people start breaking it down. It's just like, hey man, people ain't going for all that like attitude, man. Like that's good, you look good, but shit, if it's a headache at the end of the day, that's what your issue is. It ain't.
But that's my whole point. Because the only one that wants her with all that attitude is going to be what? The rappers, the football players, the basketball players. That's all they chase.
Yeah, but they get rid of that also.
Hey, at least they get a bag off of that.
Oh,
I mean, look, overall, like the ballers, whatever athletes, however you want to call them, actors or so, when they find those type of women, especially like when they're like, you know, very Barbie-like, they're gonna treat you like a Barbie. So they'll play with you for a little while until like they actually find like a quality type of woman. Or for their status, they could find plenty of quality women, but they just want something that's quick, easy, where they don't have to fall in love and be attached.
You know,
And they're going
you
just glad
said
that-
quick and easy.
I'm
Damn.
just glad that he said Barbies now. He said
I
Barbies.
know he said Barbie, but he said quick and easy. Like,
Well,
damn.
we all know that's gonna be quick and easy.
Yeah, like Hot Pockets. But I don't want to get canceled. But I'm also going to say this one additionally too, right? To kind of go back to why she didn't mess with the $50 million guy. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I'm not done yet.
There's more.
Yeah, that's why I'm not done yet. Hold your laugh for a little while longer, okay? We know you four people have a good sense of humor, but hold on. So the $50 million man, right?
Yes.
I don't think that she discarded him.
Uh-huh.
There's two options. Option A,
Yeah.
either she never got with a guy like in that caliber, so he really did not exist, and that's just in her feminine imagination as a way to cover herself up to increase her value. So people think that she's more worth than what she really is. Thinking that's more option A, or option B. It wasn't like she couldn't keep the man. It was just that the man did not want her.
That's option B. She got smashed.
I think it's B.
Okay then.
Because I mean,
I really think it's A, because personally, or it could really be both. But the thing is like, once again, like even to the point where you said on A, again, you got a guy that made 5 times more than you. Knowing you're in real estate, and then he's in whatever he is.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. She's not being very descriptive. You just saying that, oh, you got a 50 million guy. Okay, 50 million amongst what exactly? And then he's making 5 times more than you. What is he doing? You can't explain it to everybody else, but yet he's worth 50 million, but you don't know? How the hell you know he had 50 million bucks?
But the biggest cap is that she said she didn't have time for him. And that was her.
But that's the thing. That's why I'm saying this shit's a joke.
M3.
Flex.
Could he be in both A and B? Because while she was being used, she was also being delusional at the same time, thinking about a life ahead, but that wasn't really gonna be.
No, man. Like when
that could coexist.
It's B. I'm telling you, man. Like they
No,
never want to
B.
say like they was just a booty call, man. So it's like they're gonna always put it as a relationship. So I mean, she probably came across the guy because it's not hard to see somebody. Like if probably somebody knew him, they got the information. Like, hey, he's up there, he's balling, he got about 50 million. So that's why she can't be too descriptive with it, because it's like she wasn't with that dude, and she would have told the story in a different way. Like if she was with him, like, hey man, I was in this relationship for like with this guy for 50 million, like 5 years and stuff. So that's why I like what Wally's saying. She's dancing around her. She don't got that much description because it was just a hookup, honestly. And people know it, but they can't come out in public and say that.
Well, you could tell like it was like a little bit of cap the way how she was given that description. So let's just go with option B, right? She did meet the guy who had 50 million per se, right?
Yeah.
And yes, it didn't work out because here's the thing, right? Most guys are not really known to be commitment driven, if you know what I mean, relationship driven.
Yeah.
So for her to kind of say, well, I'm the one who kind of turned him down because I had things to do or whatever. It kind of goes back to what SJ was saying earlier. She sounds like a dude. You know what I mean? So when you look at it, right, it still doesn't really make any sense because you're still looking for those type of relationships. You're looking for someone that's much higher, 20 times higher than what you're making. But it doesn't make sense to why would a guy who's making $50 million have all the girls in the world or in Miami that he could really sleep with, why would he choose her to be in a committed relationship to a point where then involves with marriage, kids, him getting finessed and all that? So of course, what makes sense is that yes, he did what he had to do, right? And then he left her because he had no intention to be in a committed relationship with her. That's if that actually did happen to her to begin with. You know what I mean? And that's where the story will not really add up because then it brings that delusion that she's still going to try to bring her value up. She just don't want to say she got turned down. That's all.
Well, I mean, just listen to a lot of those type of females, man. When they tell the stories, man, they never ever once got dumped. So it's like a pride thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like a pride and ego thing. And then with her in like these situations, when they're not looking for any character or anything like that, because everything was just money. She was like, hey, man, I want him to have character, all these other different attributes. So it's like, of course, if you're just like targeting a dude for money, like he's probably living his life. He's like, man, I'm at this pace where I'm having fun. I done, put them long hours in, done sacrifice. So I'm just chilling. So it don't even make those type of dudes a bad person. They're just like, man, I'm living my life right now. So when she's like just coming at him for the money, he's just like, shit, I'm gonna knock you down. This is easy killing and shit. We kicking it, we drinking it in a VIP shit. That's what it is.
So now this leads me to one last question, right?
Yeah.
So let's just say hypothetically, right? Because we know she messed with broke dudes on the side too, secretly. Now, do you think her ego would be more bruised if, let's say, for instance, if she was messing around with a brokey, or let's just say an average guy, like a guy that's working a 9 to 5, but because of her attitude, the guy, even if she's making $10 million off of real estate, but the guy rejects her and he turns her down. Do you think that's going to hurt worse? As opposed, why is that?
Because she gave him a chance that she wasn't good enough for him, and then she had to look at herself. So if you're not good enough for the rich guy who's richer than you, you're not good enough for the guy who makes less than you. The reality is, it's you.
I was just telling one of my boys this. I was like, typically when girls get bitter like that, like her, and they just like fixate on the money.
Yeah.
They usually been ran through by a bunch of like regular dudes. So now, like through each interaction, they just charging more money to the game. They're like, all right, the next guy, he's got to have more. He's got to have money.
Got to raise the bar. Got to keep raising the bar.
So
it's like,
that's where the delusion comes in. It's like a coping mechanism. Like, it's like some mental.
They need to hit that mirror and then look at themselves in the mirror and be like,
oh, no, facts.
That's the problem.
But it's kind of like, man, when they don't get their way and they keep going through that process of getting used, man, it's like they get cold, they lose their soul. So now they looking at dudes as just like straight money. Like, hey, you gotta have this, you gotta bring this type of money, you gotta bring this. So they become just like soulless at that point. So that's what it is. That's why she sounds so bitter. Like I think Stan caught it early. Like, hey man, this motherfucker bitter as hell. It's like, hell yeah, she been ran through by a bunch of broke niggas. And
that's what I'm saying. Because it's like she don't even have the she really don't have the mindset. Because like you're trying to tell me, as someone as yourself being at 10 million, I've seen people that talk like they're worth 10 million, more than that. You don't look like the person that talks like you worth that. You really out here just talking real heavy, and it's like, but for what? That's what I'm like. You act like you never been nowhere when you actually talk to somebody like that, because you just out here just bigging and boasting, talking shit.
Well, if she had 5 BBLs, man, she was definitely, there was some insecurities and some self-esteem issues.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
so that's why she's wearing her career like that. She's projecting so much because it's just like, hey man, I gotta have something to like fill that gap that I'm feeling. So it's just like that's why she's coming off so hard. Like, she's trying to be like a dude, man, because that's probably who her mentors are. She's learning real estate
That's the
from, so
thing,
she's
but
trying to
that's
be
why I'm
them.
laughing, because if you have nothing to prove, then why are you talking so heavy?
Oh yeah, nah, facts. You spot on.
But what was the other red flags you guys saw with her?
You know, it's a funny one because I think because when M3 was breaking down what he was saying, there was a one thing I think I was remembering something interesting about what she said, right? Because they asked her why you didn't settle with the 50 million. She said I had something bigger to do. You know that what it sounded like to me is when she said she had something better, like she has something better to do.
Yeah.
I think what it is, and this is a possibility, right? Maybe she did meet the 50 million guy. And maybe at this point, he was at that point where he was like, you know what, I'm trying to settle down. And she's like, nope, I gotta keep doing me. I gotta keep getting this bread. I gotta keep doing all this. I don't want to settle down. Meaning she wants to keep doing what she does. She wants to keep running her folk. And that point, that tells me like, okay, you just over here just doing anything. You really ain't serious about nothing. So again, you get an opportunity to have a serious thing. And now here you are with a serious thing. You don't know how to act. It's like, all right, cool. Thank you.
How about
Well,
you?
she probably also wanted a attractive millionaire. That's the issue, because you know they be having a preference. Nah, you know, man.
But
Shit,
see, that's
she probably...
the thing, though. If that was the case, it's like again, why mention the 50 million in the first place if he wasn't even attractive? Look here, I'm gonna be honest with you. If a female came to me and she wasn't attractive, I wouldn't even mention it. I wouldn't even mention it at all. She would be a non-factor. That's nothing in my mind.
But you know, like it's like they all live off a checklist. So it's like, man, I want the $50 million guy that's attractive, that's got some bad boy attitude, that's nice, also that goes to Bible study. So man, all that shit contradicts each other. So that's the issue. So now probably like when she lost that, she's like, shit, now I'm going for flat money. I gotta. But there was one more red flag, Stan, that she did say.
Yeah.
Man, when I see females do this, man, red flags, guys, run when they start bragging about the amount of times that they were engaged. Because she was like, "Oh, I was engaged 2 times." So it's like whenever I hear females brag about that, and they're not ashamed of that, but they're like wearing that like a badge of honor, that red flag, get her up out of there. Because you know how females be like, "Oh man, I was proposed to like 3 times."
At the finish line,
yeah, that's right.
Y'all gets dropped. Okay.
Yeah, I'm like, so I was like, you're proud that guys will get that close enough to like almost walk down that aisle with you, and they just like they analyze everything and run from your ass. Like, that ain't no positive.
That's crazy.
There was one red
to her,
flag.
it's positive because why? Because you got that close. See, getting close and actually getting it is 2 different things. And let's be honest, you never got it.
Well, because I think it's even worse because it's like, okay, this person was pretty much serious to pop that question, but that means in that dark moment before they even walked over that threshold, they were like, nah, fuck that. I can't do this shit.
And that's the worst.
You know what I'm saying? That's what makes it worse, because they were like, that means they had to analyze.
I actually thought about you not once but twice, and they both dropped you around the same time frame of almost crossing the aisle, and they said, nope, before we even do this is a no, I'm dropping this. That is insane.
Because think about it, man. You like that person enough to pop that question.
Yeah.
Right.
Where you was that involved with them. And then that means you analyze that shit even further. You like, fuck that. I can't do it. And this is twice, like Wally was saying. So that's a pattern. So that's what I'm saying. When females be bragging about that shit, I be cracking up. I be like, man, how dudes don't like jump on this stuff? Because
that's dope.
But what gets the dudes to a point in the beginning to want to propose to her, if that really happened, right? So for a guy to even get to that level, to be like, I think I want to make her my wife.
they be on that Obama hope shit. Be like, you know what? I hope this bitch change.
But see,
she turned into a decent person. But after like a little bit, they're like, nah, she ain't changing. I got to get the fuck up out of here.
See,
abort mission.
Wait a minute. Did they ask her about her 2 past dudes? They didn't ask, did they?
Nah, man. That's why I was like, I wish they would have.
And I'm like, see, that's the problem. Because if it was me and I heard that question and I was actually attentive to hearing that, I'd have been like, okay, wait a minute. You said that you dated 2 dudes that proposed to you. Where were they financially? Because that's what I would ask right there. And I would want to see where that.
One of them dudes worked at Popeye's Chicken, and the other one worked at like Hertz Rent a Car and shit.
Hey,
And then after that, she was like, "Look, I'm going for the millionaires. Fuck this." She
Hey,
started
no
selling real
way.
estate.
yo, there was another red flag I caught on to when she said that the way she dressed, she model on Instagram and she get paid for it, but she's exclusive. And I'm like, wait a minute, I thought you have 10 million in property. Why would you be modeling for Instagram and getting paid for that?
For the
Because
attention.
man, money.
Well, she said she had a portfolio, so she was like trying to build up. So I don't know if she had it exactly, but
But that's what
I
she
mean,
said.
some of them still model, man, for the attention aspect, so they could be like, "Hey, I'm a model," so they could throw that term on them.
But then she said I get paid for that. She said like I'm not, you know what I'm saying?
Man, you could get paid by like.
Is that so?
You remember the furniture stores? I always be like going out of sale. It'd be going out of sale for like 20 years, and you got the person spinning the sign. Like,
Last day,
It makes it even worse because now you want to add to the fact that she's an Instagram model, right? And then you're trying to tell me you met the $50 dude. Okay, so what that tells me is he understood what the frick you were when he saw you dressed, and it's like, yeah, no, this is too much for me. You're just too fast.
M3, did you see
I'm not
red
playing
flag?
chicken with you.
Say again.
Did you see any of the red flags?
Did I say any other red flags?
Yeah.
I mean, the first noticeable red flag is when she started opening her mouth.
It's usually always the red flag. They open their mouths.
Yeah. And again, like, we talked about like, the enhancements and the contradictory that, she kept making about herself, and the fact that she's 27, but
I ain't gonna lie.
I just thought she was 40, so I was like, okay, she looked okay for like a 4-year-old, but I didn't know that she had those enhancements, and I didn't know she was younger than that.
But see, that's the thing that makes it weird. I came in here, you guys asked me that question. I said 50. You telling me she's 27.
I thought you were wrong when we said 50, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, I thought she was older too till she said her age. She looked like,
And that's what I'm talking about. That's weird.
Yeah. She looked like one of those basketball housewives. That's what I thought she was.
She is drained as hell. She is so drained, that's sad.
Yeah.
Don't even look youthful. You just look like you just a vampire. Gosh.
And I didn't know she got engaged. A good catch, SJ.
I remember they were asking her, but like Wally said, they should have dissected that, and I would have definitely wanted more details on that 50 million, man. Like, how long were y'all together? Like, they should have dug into that one a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it would make more sense. You just saying it don't make nothing.
Yeah, they dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to look around and see if she got any other interviews of that, because I know a few people dissected that clip. But yeah, there she is again.
What's her name? What's her name?
I don't even know. They just had the clip on there.
Humbled by Ugly. Okay.
Now, see, at first I thought she was like maybe like Latina or like Cherokee or something, more like Cherokee.
Was Latina?
But
no, she looked definitely Latina.
Yeah, she looked like it. I mean, she has natural the other Latina that was next to McQueen's. Now she was definitely Latina, like you could just tell.
Yeah, can we guess the age range of the other panelists?
Yeah, it's the one next to McQueen's right there. Yeah, the one right there. Yeah, that one. She definitely looked Latina. Like, you can just tell just looking at her.
Yeah, because I'm looking around. Yeah, she looked the oldest one out of all of them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I think she's like 40.
Nah, she definitely look older. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
She looking.
But there's no point
she doing all this
try to-
stuff. That's what I'm saying. That Botox and all that.
Yeah, but there's no
That
point
shit-
even try to.
Wait, Botox?
Yeah, she had the Botox.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I don't know if
Now,
she
maybe-
did,
I don't
but
know.
her
Maybe
face
the
looked like it.
Maybe the woman's
No,
on
she
this
said
side.
that on the show that she had Botox. Or somewhere.
okay.
See,
Yeah, I know
that's
she had a
what
lot
I'm
of
saying,
treatment.
dog. It's just
Yeah.
problematic, dog. It's like you
That's
getting
her part.
all that done to you at an early age. Like, nah, bro.
Yeah, that's bad.
You already broken. You broken. I'm sorry, no, I can't do it.
But
I mean,
all right,
even
we'll
with
go.
just one that just tells me no.
Yeah, 5 BBLs. That's crazy. So especially at that age, that's why I'm like her body gonna start rejecting all that shit, man. So yeah. Because I forgot what her name was. Pamela Anderson. I seen her recently.
Oh yeah, she don't look the same at all.
Man.
She,
That's the stuff when you start seeing some of the people that had a lot of that type of stuff, man. Like it's sad when you see them like when they start aging and their body. That stuff, I'm telling you, man, that stuff ages you quicker. So